Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition and post-alignment Dungeons and Dragons and what will happen with the cleric class in post-alignment and why we may have some hope that the cleric will either return after it's taken out or it won't be taken out because people realize the truth before it happens. All right, so I've been watching a dude, Russell Brand. I don't know if you guys know who Russell Brand is. Really interesting guy. Russell Brand is he is a British comedian. He used to be a British comedian. Now he's a British philosopher king. He did a lot of movies. One of the movies he was in was Get Him to the Greek. It had like Jonah Hill in it and Russell Brand in it. Russell Brand was a brilliant comedian, British comedian. Did a lot of stand-ups, then transitioned to movies. You know, typical Hollywood track for specific, comedians. And so he's a really brilliant guy. He does a really great job at being funny. And but but one, he had a major drug problem. Now, I'm not saying that, he says that, right? So he fell into some hard drugs for a while and really kind of spun out. And then once he got himself settled, right, once he got over the drug problem and really kind of moved forward with doing a better job of just living his life off drugs, he really has transformed himself into a philosopher king. I very much encourage you to go listen to Russell Brand's material. Brilliant guy, super liberal. I agree with him on almost nothing. But I like listening to smart people, and Russell Brand is crazy smart, super interesting, and he's just he's a master fighter with words, right? He's just he's Bruce Lee with words. Really worth listening to. So he talked recently, and he's been talking about atheism and agnosticism, and he is an atheist. Actually, you know what? He was an atheist and agnostic at some point. And he's really he's transitioned himself. I think he's one of these people who says, I'm spiritual but not religious. It's it's a trope now. It's who cares? Pick a lane, dude. Right? And I think he even understands how pathetic it is to be spiritual but not religious. It means, oh, hey, I want to believe in spiritual things, but I'm not going to follow a sacred text. I'm just going to do what I want, right? Which means, come on, whatever you believe, it's going to be important to you and nobody else, right? It's kind of silly, right? So it's not a good reason. You shouldn't waste your life with that, right? Not doing that for anything, in my opinion. So, but he said something really interesting. So we're going into this post-alignment. Right now, there is an egg, right? There is a conceptual egg that is being hatched in, so I think Wizards of the Coast is, it's in near Seattle, right? Seattle, Washington, right? So it's in the state of Washington. There's this conceptual egg being hatched, which is post-alignment D&D. Post-alignment D&D would free D&D from religion, right? America is struggling right now, right? We have these evangelical Christians in America who really, they ball out and they do awesome things all the time, but everybody hates them, right? That's the structure, right? Evangelical Christians and actual people of faith, they started all the hospitals, they started all the universities. They're the last groups that have functioning families with spouses and kids and the rest of the world is we could do this too, and then you look over and you're can you, right? Where's the atheist hospitals, where's the where's the atheist universities, right? Where's the freestanding it's a thing, right? So but evangelical Christians, people really detest how adamant they are. They're we believe this one thing, and that's the thing, right? And at this point, at this point in Washington, where post-alignment D&D is being hatched in this egg, right? Their idea is going to be a Dungeons and Dragons that is free of religious conviction, right? Clerics are religious heroes, right? Paladins are super dope religious heroes, right? Alignment is a religious concept. So right now, Dungeons and Dragons as it stands is just baked in faithful religion, right? It's a thing, and it absolutely galls the coastal elites and liberals who are creating Dungeons and Dragons, right? And they want to pull it out. And so they're hatching this post-alignment Dungeons and Dragons, right? You can see it happening in real time. If you think I'm wrong, just look at the last few source books. Alignment hasn't been mentioned once, right? And alignment will probably go first, and then it'll be clerics and paladins. They'll pull them right out of the game, right? Well, Russell Brand, here's what Russell Brand said. He said, hey, I know you hate religion, and we have defeated these evangelical Christians on many fronts, right? And we've won. So what happened when we were the winners, right? Did we get a religious free world? No, we did not. What actually happened, look carefully, pay attention, right? What actually happened was the religion of Christianity was generally replaced with the religion of consumerism. The nice big mega churches and the nice local churches, right? They're gone now. And what's there instead? Walmarts and Targets, right? Oh, you don't like your brick and mortars anymore? You think you're not bowing to the gods of religious consumerism because you shop from Amazon? Well, you got a temple too. It's called a warehouse, and you never go into it, but your priests do, right? Your priests of consumerism who grab your boxes off the walls and ship it to your house the next day, just like the old religions where the common folk could not go into the temple and only the clergy went into the temple. You now have, Amazon has temples to consumerism. They're gigantic warehouses where your clergies, the laborers, go and get your boxes and ship it to you, right? Absolutely fascinating, right? So Russell Brand is like, oh, so the atheists and agnostics think they're going to free people from religion. They ain't freeing nobody from nothing. The temples are erected, right? And the temples are for consumerism, right? Now, what's this got to do with D&D? Well, I'm hoping that the remnant, right, the smartest people who are paying attention in Washington, near Seattle, Washington, that they might crack the egg for us and let that egg die, and that post-alignment D&D will never be born. Not because the remnant sees the value in Christianity, but they realize that they have nothing to replace alignment, cleric, and paladin. All their ideas are a shadow of what these ideas have already done for Dungeons and Dragons and have already provided for Dungeons and Dragons. They might crack the egg and let that experiment die and let post-alignment D&D die in egg form before it's ever manifested as a true and slavering beast, right? So I still have hope, and I highly encourage you. I definitely agree with Russell Brand, right? Atheists and agnostics have lost to evangelical Christians and people of true faith, and the reason why is they don't have anything that can replace it, right? So nice try, atheists and agnostics. Keep going, right? And and the reality is, I think the same thing that's going to hold back atheists, agnostics in our culture are going to hold back atheists and agnostics in Dungeons and Dragons from getting the whole ball of wax. That's my opinion. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.